River Ganga is the most holy river for both Hindus and Buddhists. They believe that bathing in the river results in one becoming free of sins and attain moksha or freedom from the cycle of life. She is believed to be the benefactor of all living beings and a great provider for everyone around her. Bhagavata Purana depicts the birth of river Ganga, which is somewhat different from what sage Vishwamitra told Rama. It is said that when the Vishnu avatar of the dwarf Brahmin Vamana was spanning the three universes with his three steps, after the second step, accidentally he pierced a hole at the edge of the universe through which the divine ocean flowed into this universe and was later named as River Ganga. Another story goes that when Vamana took the second step and covered the skies with his foot, Lord Brahma washed that foot with the divine waters and collected that water in his Kamandala. The water, having touched the feet of the sacred Lord Vishnu, became Lord Brahma's daughter and was called Ganga. This version is somewhat the prelude to Vishwamitra's story as told to Rama. As legend goes, Ganga grew up to be a very active and playful girl. Once, when sage Durvasa was visiting Brahma and stopped to have a bath, the brisk breeze blew off his clothes. Young Ganga, who was close by, happened to see this and broke into uncontrolled laughter. Durvasa, who was always quick to become angry, cursed the young Ganga to spend time on earth as a river in which all would come to take a purifying dip. When Rama asked about the story of river Ganga, Vishwamitra started telling the story thus. Once upon a time, the king of Himalayas called Himavanta had two daughters called Ganga and Uma through his wife Meena, who was the daughter of the Meru mountain. Once Lord Brahma came to Himavanta and asked him to give off Ganga to the gods to ensure future well-being of the universe. Himavanta accepted and gave her off. That is how Ganga reached the abode of gods and stayed there. Later on, when Uma started meditating about Shiva constantly, Himavanta married her off to Lord Shiva. Vishwamitra continued the story. Long back, Ayodhya was ruled by King Sagara. As he did not have any sons, he went to Himalayas with both his wives and did severe penance. Later on, sage Brigu blessed him, saying one of his wife will get a son because of whom the lineage will stand strong, and the other wife will get 60,000 sons. Brigu Maharshi said that who gets single son and who gets 60,000 sons can be decided mutually between the queens. After due deliberation, the elder queen Kesini opted for the one son because of whom the Ikshvaku lineage will stand forever, and so the second wife Sumati opted to get 60,000 sons. After some time, Kesini was blessed with a son whom they named as Asamanjasa. Sumati delivered a big meatball out of which later developed 60,000 sons after taking due care. Asamanjasa turned out to be an evil person who always tortured his younger brothers by trying to immerse them in river Sarayu. Finally, King Sagara could not stand the cruelty of his eldest son and expelled him from his kingdom. But he kept the son of Asamanjasa called Anshumanta, who was a very good person and much loved by everyone, with himself. After some time, King Sagara wanted to conduct Ashwamedha Yajna and started preparations. He has sent Anshumanta along with the horse for wandering across the earth. But later, when the Yajna is being conducted, the king of gods, Indra, who is always insecure about his position, came in a demon form and stole the horse from the place where the Yajna is being conducted. He hid the horse under the earth tied to a tree where sage Kapila, who was also an avatar of Lord Vishnu, was meditating. The chief priest who was conducting the Ashwamedha Yajna told the king that it is a very bad fortune for the kingdom if the Yajna could not be completed, so the horse must be brought at any cost. So the king Sagara sent his 60,000 sons to search for the horse. He gave them strict instructions to search for the horse on the whole of earth and, if required, even in the Patala Loka, which is below the earth. When the 60,000 sons could not find the horse anywhere on the surface of the earth, they started digging the earth in such huge extent that it created a havoc in the whole world, including for Mother Earth. When everyone went to Lord Brahma to protect them from all that digging, Brahma told them that as Mother Earth is the wife of Lord Vishnu, and as he was now in the form of sage Kapila doing penance in the underground world, he will shortly destroy all the 60,000 sons of King Sagara. While digging the earth, the sons of Sagara had to kill many life forms and did lot of damage to earth. They even saw the 4 elephants bearing the weight of the earth at the 4 corners of the earth during their digging. The legend goes that these 4 huge elephants stand at the 4 corners below the earth and bear its weight. When they are too tired, they shake their heads little bit to relax, causing earthquakes. Finally, the sons of Sagara reached below the earth and in Patala Loka found the horse grazing near Kapila Maharshi, who was in meditation. They assumed he was the thief and went to kill him with the tools they held for digging. The sage got furious and burnt all of them into ashes with just a fierce look. When they did not return after a long time, Sagara sent Anshumanta in search of them. Anshumanta followed their path and when he reached the elephants, asked them about his uncle's whereabouts. They told him to go down still so that he can find everything about them. Finally, after going down further, he found the horse and the place where his uncles lay in ashes. He was devastated. Before returning to his grandfather with the horse, he wanted to complete the funeral rites of his uncles, but unfortunately he could not find any water nearby. When he was mulling over, Garuda appeared and said, "Oh dear Anshumanta, do not worry as your uncle's death will result in a very beneficial outcome. They will be the reason to bring river Ganga to earth, which will result in welfare of the total life on earth. Your uncles are turned to ashes by Kapila Muni. When their ashes are drenched in the waters of river Ganga, they will reach heaven. For now, you take this horse and go to our grandfather and later plan as to how to bring Ganga to the earth." King Sagara completed his Ashwamedha Yajna successfully after Anshumanta returned with the horse. He started planning strategies to bring Ganga to earth for the sake of his sons, but before he could achieve it, he left his earthly body. After him, Anshumanta ruled Ayodhya for some time, handed over his empire to his son Dilipa, and went to do penance to bring Ganga to earth. But before he reached his target, he too left his body. Same thing happened with Dilipa also. His son Bhagiratha, after ruling for some time, handed over his kingdom to his council of ministers as he did not have sons by that time, and went to do penance to bring Ganga to earth. His concentration and determination were unmatched in his penance to bring Ganga to earth. After doing severe penance for 1,000 of years, Lord Brahma was pleased and appeared before him and told him to ask for a boon. Bhagiratha asked to let his ancestors' ashes be drenched in the sacred waters of Ganga. Along with this, he also asked for a son. Lord Brahma told him that he can send Ganga to earth, but as earth cannot bear the force and weight of Ganga, he advised Bhagiratha to do penance for Lord Shiva and ask him to bear the force of Ganga. Bhagiratha again stood on the toes of one of his legs and did severe penance for a year. Pleased with him, Lord Shiva appeared and accepted to bear the force of the flow of river Ganga in the middle before it reached earth. When Brahma released Ganga, she saw Lord Shiva and was not happy that he is blocking her flow and slowing her. With her childish arrogance, she came down with tremendous force from the heavens, thinking that she can knock off Lord Shiva with her flow. But Lord Shiva, knowing her intentions, blocked and captured her with his hair locks, not letting a single drop to fall out. Seeing this, Bhagiratha again started penance to please Shiva. At last, when Ganga calmed down, Lord Shiva released a small part of Ganga and commanded her to follow Bhagiratha and fulfill his wishes. Ganga has fallen into the lake called Bindu and divided into 7 parts. 6 parts formed into 6 different rivers, and the 7th part followed Bhagiratha's chariot to fulfill his wish. When Ganga followed Bhagiratha, she flowed with enormous force and volume, which led to a huge flood, destroying the hermitage and the fields of sage Janhu, which was in her path. Sage Janhu was greatly angered by this act of Ganga. In order to teach her a lesson, he drank and swallowed Ganga completely as a revenge. The gods who assembled to watch the descent of Ganga onto the earth were stunned with this turn of events. Feeling bad for Bhagirath, they prayed along with him to sage Janhu to release her. They promised him that henceforth Ganga will be considered as his daughter also and be called Jahnavi. The sage calmed down after a while and released Ganga. She continued following Bhagiratha. As Ganga followed Bhagiratha, millions of people paid respects to her and bathed in the holy river to purify themselves. Finally, Ganga reached the place where sage Kapila was doing penance and where the ashes of the sons of Sagara laid since ages waiting for their last rites. The 60,000 souls of the sons of King Sagara were liberated and finally reached heavenly abodes when Ganga flowed over their ashes. Eventually, Ganga stabilized and became the holy river of Bharat. Lord Brahma appeared after all this before Bhagiratha again, and in appreciation of his huge efforts to bring Ganga to earth, he said that from that day onwards, Ganga will also be known as Bhagiratha's daughter and will be called Bhagirathi. Pleased that finally he could achieve what his forefathers aimed for, Bhagiratha returned to his kingdom and started his rule. To this day, the Hindus across the world worship Ganga and consider it their holy river. They believe taking a holy dip in it at least once in their lifetime will purify them of all their sins. The remains of the deceased are immersed in the river waters so that just like the sons of Sagara, they too can attain heavenly abode. It is believed that the holy river will dry up at the end of Kali Yuga but will remain a perennial river until then. Vishwamitra concluded the legend of river Ganga saying that it took such huge consistent efforts on behalf of Bhagiratha to get the sacred river Ganga to earth, which for eternity is beneficial to all humankind. The story of Ganga took almost full night to be completed and everyone started on the journey as soon as the sun has risen. Let us know further journey details of Rama and Lakshmana to Mithila in the next episode. Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu.